in the avenue we have an old tank water heater. It's not old because the trailer's brand new, but it's a Suburban model, and we are going to replace it with a tankless water heater. I did some research on it and found that the brand Truma has a water heater with a small tank in it so that it can kind of provide a little bit of water, hot water, while it's ramping up the heat on the tankless portion of it. And we were thinking that would be the best way to do it, so we went with a Truma, sorry, not Truman. The issue with Truma is they don't sell them to the public, so you can't buy one unless you're a dealer and professionally trained to install it. I found one on the internet, so I bought it. It was quasi brand new. The guy purchased it to replace one he thought was bad, but then it was just a fuse. So he put this one in and then took it back out and then put his original one back in. So right here is the tank, and then back underneath here is the coils or the interchanger for the heat. This is a Comfort, but it's the model DLE60C, so it's not the basic model. The first step will be to start taking out this Suburban. On this one, there's three. They use stupid square heads on everything. They use square heads on everything on trailers for some reason. I don't understand it. But a Phillips can sometimes take them out, and it's being successful now. So it's got a little bit of silicone around it, but it comes apart. Now that that's out, there's looks like just two black square heads here. Now I got those, all the screws out, but I want to make sure I turn off the power and turn off the gas, so I'll do that now. To turn off the power to the water heater on this Alliance Avenue, there's a water heater switch right there. None of the other 12 volt ones go to the water heater. So right now I got the water heater 110 volt breaker switched off. Beforehand I did run a little bit of, I turned off the switch inside so that this wouldn't turn on, then I ran some water through it to hopefully get it cooler so that there's not real hot water in there. So the next thing I need to do is drain the water out of it. I think I do that with this big plug here, so I'll try and get a socket that I can stick on there with an extension to get it out here far enough. Apparently the largest socket I have with me is a 1 inch, and it's bigger than that, so I gotta go the crescent route and see if I can get this in there. Maybe the 2 crescent route. Let me grab the other. So I took this out by putting 1 crescent on it and then turning the crescent with another one so that I could get enough leverage. And then I forgot to turn off the water, so it exploded out. But you take out this piece with the rod, and it's already eaten up in just a couple months, so that's kind of irritating. And then you just let the water drain out. Now that the water is all out, I can undo the gas line right here. It'll spray a little gas out because there's still some in the line after turning it off. Oh, that's really tight. So on this one it had the L, or the 90 degree here has flat sides on it, so I was able to put another crescent wrench on and hold this while I loosened the hose, because this was floppy. So now that I got the hose loosened, I can just undo it. Now with this line undone, I can push it back in there. I did check ahead of time, and this line comes from over here and goes around this water heater this way, so I don't think I have to do anything to replace or lengthen this line at all. So I'll just push it back inside there. Wasn't able to exactly find where the electrical hooks to this, so I'm going to try and pull it out and see if I can get to the water and the electrical from behind it outside here. It appears that it's a little bit too wide for the spot. I don't necessarily mean too wide for the spot, but it appears that they put the skin on after they put the hot water heater in, so it's catching on the skin because they didn't cut the hole big enough or something. So if I pry it out like that, then I got the edge past. Back in here is the hot water and cold water lines connected to this. They appear to be really short, so I can't pull it out any farther, so I gotta use some channel locks and okay, I got the cold line off, which comes up here, and the hot line goes down here. So now we'll go back outside and see if we can pull this out farther with the electrical lines still connected, because they're way back in there on the other side of the hot water heater. Now we'll work on pulling this out again. Hopefully it'll move. I should have brought another table actually. Okay, so the power comes in on this black line here. I'll switch you over to this side. So over here on this side I have this wire coming in from what appears to be the panel, because inside I have a 12 volt switch and a 120 volt switch, so I'm wondering if this is for the 12 volt circuit when you're using gas. So I gotta see what these voltages are. Okay, I turned off the power to these. I'll just give it a check real quick to make sure. Yeah, 0 volts, so I'm gonna trim these off. I'm gonna actually leave a little bit of the color wire on the unit, so if I have to put this back in for some reason, I know which one goes where. So I'll just trim them like this. Now I got these wires all disconnected. I'll just tuck them in here. And this box is disconnected. This wire goes back through this port down here on the bottom, but So that went to the igniter. I got some little things in my fingers and they're pokey. Okay, now I should be able to pull this out the rest of the way and dump water on myself. No. So they put some boards in here to make the bottom level. It's kind of a weird place for a screw. The other unit is flat. I gotta measure between these two. I'll probably take out this piece because I don't need that. So I'll do that first. Oh, where'd that go? Let's see what I mean by they made a nasty mess in here with stuff. Why would they loop that over the hot water heater instead of having it come over and go up on the other side there? Just frustrating. So these wires I need to tape up so that they don't get in contact with anything, and I could use this later. It goes to an outlet up there, so I could just unplug it from the outlet. So this is now unplugged, so I don't have to worry about that. That switch I must turn on and off that outlet, so that's kind of cool. The gas line will come in on this side of the new unit. Oh, they got lots of metal shavings here. This goes to the heater. Let me just stick my face in the way. Okay, so I just need these two and the brown and white out of this and the gas line, and then the red and blue hoses back there, because this one's pretty straightforward. So I need to also run a line over there for the control unit. So they gave me this 9-foot cable. Maybe it's 9 foot, I don't know how long it is. So this has to go from here to over there and up onto the panel inside. So up on the cupboard. I'll try and figure out how to get this over there. Place completely, I bet. Oh. Whoa, I totally messed it up already. Gonna be bad. Let's go see if I can figure out how to get to that from the inside. I'm gonna take off this panel. I'm gonna pull it out to see if there's a way to feed the line down from in here, and maybe I can get it down and over outside over there if I come from the top, because I can't see how to feed it up to here, and I don't need it down there, I just need it up here. So I'm going to take this out real quick. It's just got 6 screws in there. I was able to push this wire up from underneath and get it to come out that hole there. So now I can tape this wire to it and pull it back down and access it from the crawl space. So now I taped this wire on there, so you just push it down that way as I pull from the bottom to make sure that this goes in.
Let me know when you're ready.
Ready?
You're okay.
Okay.
I didn't have to feed it, you just started pulling.
Well, you gotta feed it. Make sure it doesn't tangle, I said.
Oh.
Oh, and pull it back out. Well, back to the drawing board. Try again. This time I taped the wire to the cord, or to the cord and stuffed it up from underneath, so now I got it up here. I got this taped on there and I made it. Yay! I can get the tape off now. I just gotta drill a hole in this panel somewhere to put the switch. So I think this spot would be the best. So I'm just gonna kinda, I got it level-ish, so I'm gonna try and just mark around it here. And find the center of that. Center of that. I guess if I just make it in line with the center in line with these holes here with the screws for this other one, then it'll be kind of nice.
And that's what we're aiming for, really. Kind of nice. You should put a disclaimer at the beginning of the video saying that you are not a certified Truma technician installer. So
Yeah.
follow your instructions at your own risk. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I went and got a 2 1/8 hole saw, and I'll try and do my best to mess this up.
You can do it.
Oh, it fits.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You're so impressive. I'm so impressed with you, Richard.
I made a mess.
Even better.
Now this line just goes up there and I'll never be able to reach it.
Okay.
So on the back here there's 2 spots to plug it in, and it doesn't have any indication of which is which. So on the instructions it shows a little picture right here with the back, and if you can tell, those little levers are on this side and it's going into the bottom one, so I'm gonna hope that that is correct, and I'm gonna plug it into the one that's more in the center position, like that. And then it just goes in there like that, and I'll find the screws to screw it in place, to screw it up. Now I'll put this panel back in. Oh, I took this screwdriver. Oh, it's right there. Now back outside. Now I got this cable out over here. So it goes all the way up to the control panel inside. And it's all tangledy. Okay, now I'll stick that back there. I got the 3 things hanging out over here. Now for putting the unit in. I think my problem is going to be that this is square and the hole is square, so feeding the gas line and plug through here is going to be an issue. So I'll have to go into the crawl space and try and slither back there so I can reach around the other side and stick those through the hole. So that's going to be a challenge, but at least I can put the electrical on ahead of time. So, and I got some of these little barrel connectors. So again, this was the brown and white wires, and I'll tape off the other ones. I'll just stuff this into the hole before I put the unit in, and I'll kind of put these up over the heater so that they're somewhere I can't reach them. Now I'll try and get that in there. Boop, boop. Like that. So now I'm going to try and crawl in there and stuff the hose through that little hole. I'll put you out here so you can see if I do it. After unsuccessfully trying to crawl into that hole with the wires and hoses and everything and try and reach down in that 2-inch space between the heater and the water heater, I just gave up and figured out I would do something different. So what I'm going to do is take a hole saw and drill a hole right here in the side so that I can feed the line through after I get it stuck through the hole in the thing. So that hole is 1.5 inches up from the bottom, so I'll do this one about the same. Now hopefully I can put these in there and then feed it back through. Oh, and just to make it all better, the hot line is like 8 inches too short for because this isn't as long as the other one. That in there and leave it loose for now, and put this in the hole because it goes up to the circuit board up here. And I'll like wrap it around this so that it doesn't fall out. Push this one back in there. I got it wrapped around the wrong way. Everything's so nice. to give you a better shot of what I've got going on. Okay, I get the opportunity to pull it back out because the hot line is too short and I broke the cold line fitting when I was tightening it up because I got cheap plastic ones. So pulling this back out of here, hopefully I can get that through that hole like that. See right down there, it's got the little plastic piece that broke off of the hose. So I'm gonna get some shark bite. I got some shark bites. This added cost that I wasn't anticipating, but oh well, that's what it is. So I got two 90 degrees and some connectors. So I got 190 shark bite with a threaded to put on the bottom. Oh, I didn't get any Teflon tape. And then for the hot line, I got a shark bite and a straight to go on there, and then this to go on to the line farther back after I put a piece in here. But I'm also putting some valves in so I can turn the water off to it if I need to. It's got a bleed off valve in it, but it doesn't have the cap. And I had to get some pipe also, and they only sold it in 1,000-foot sections. So I had to buy a 10-foot piece to get that much. Guessing at the length of that one. I guess technically if I that on it and be on the ground. Guess technically if I have a valve on the cold water, I don't need one on the hot water, except that the hot water, no, the hot water is fed from the hot water tank, so the water won't have pressure, so I only need one valve. This on here, and then I'll screw this piece on here and then go on the inside, and I can put those together. think that's too long. Okay, so this should be ready to go back in. So I'll put some, oh, I gotta get that in place first, I guess. I don't know what this stuff is, but it's not very sticky. Okay, back inside here, I gotta get this shark bite on that. Okay, I'll turn the water on and see if it leaks. Okay, I got water and I see a drip from both hot and cold. Okay, so now I gotta try and take those back apart and make a mess of water everywhere. Okay, I released the pressure from outside, so it shouldn't spray everywhere. I got the top pipe out and some Teflon tape on there. Can't see the top one. Oh yeah, you can. So there's, and then I'm gonna work on the bottom one. I got this crimper to help me get the shark bite off, but it's in a really tight spot. I'm getting the top one in. I got the bottom back hooked up. Oh, my battery's going dead, so it keeps shutting off. Okay, so I got the top and the cold, and the hot and the cold plugged in, and okay, now I gotta hook up this cord. Okay, I got the power on, the gas on, and I ran some water. So it's clogging up the glass here. So it's running. And it's getting warm. Yeah. So we got hot water, and we got steam. Whoops, forgot to turn on the camera. So I just held this up here as best I could and measured between this gap here to make sure I had it straight. And then I drilled 3 holes and put in 3 screws to hold it here while I marked this cutout. I haven't taken into account the curvature there, so I don't know if I'll worry about that or just, I guess I should. So I need to figure out the curvature of this before I do that. So maybe I'll take this panel off and hold it up there and mark that corner. So I'm going to take this off of here now. So I just take this panel off. It's got a long tube there, which is weird, but okay. So I'll hold this up here as straight as I can and draw that. And then put this back on. Now I'll try and take it easy and cut along this line as straight as I can. There, now I got that cut, as if you couldn't have seen that. Fitment looks pretty good. Pretty good. I got it too tight. Okay, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Nothing a little silicone can't cover. There we go. All finished. Again, I got this because it has a little tank in there and keeps the water hot after you turn it off and turn it back on. I'll try and show you what I mean by the temperature consistency. So right now it's 72 degrees in here, but I'll turn it on to hot water only. Hopefully you can read this temperature. Maybe I can zoom in on it. So right now it's at 117 degrees. Not focusing properly. There we go, maybe that's better. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn it off. Got up to 118. Wait a couple seconds. And now there will be hot water in the line still, but that hot water will come out, and after a certain amount of time it'll be coming from the tank. So now we're zooming back up. So now we're going down while it's catching up. Now we're going back up. Here's, yep. So instead of having a time where it drops back down to 50 degrees or whatever the cold water coming in is, it maintained 108 degrees. So it only dropped a little bit while it was catching back up. So that's the main reason we went with the Truma. Hopefully that can solve some of the issues that people have with tankless water heaters. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't go with a tankless water heater, go with one with a small tank and a tankless element to it so that you can have continuous hot water and also not have a 20 or 30 second cold spell in the middle of it. So this morning my wife and I both took nice long showers and had hot water the whole time, one after another, and we couldn't have done that with the old hot water heater. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy, and let me know of any questions you have.